events on the struggle for racial justice in America. The tragic moment in history serves as a reminder for the long and difficult path towards equality and the importance of continued vigilance in our fight. So now we'll turn our attention to the Memphis Massacre of 1866. Now, this event was, of course, marked by a clash between the African American community and city law enforcement. Of course, right? We see the theme, right? So let's get into this 3-day long attack. This was a 3-day long attack. So it was a 3-day spree of violence, and it started on May 1st. So the Memphis Massacre of 1866 was a horrific 3-day spree of violence beginning May 1st that saw white mobs attacking black individuals, homes, and businesses in Memphis, Tennessee. Now, this episode, which is now the second one that we're talking about, but this one actually happened before the New Orleans massacre. This episode of brutal racial violence was spurred by deep-rooted tensions exacerbated by the recent end of the Civil War and the changes brought about by Reconstruction. Now, the immediate spark for the massacre was a conflict between a recently discharged black Union soldiers and white city police officers. And here's what happened. On May 1st, a dispute occurred when the police attempted to arrest a black ex-soldier. Now, what happened? When this white officer tried to arrest this black ex-soldier, an estimated 50 blacks showed up to stop the police from jailing him. So, obviously, we know this is largely a black community, our community, but they see this happening. 50 black people come like, hey, no, what you doing? First of all, why the hell you policing in our city? But okay, let's not even go there. But so after they attempted to stop this officer from arresting this black man, the incident almost immediately escalated. No one knew, not no one. There aren't any reports that show who actually shot first. I sort of have an idea about that, but this was long-standing racial animosity, post-war economic competition, resistance to Reconstruction. Y'all know post-war economic competition. Basically, now there's an equal playing field. Black people out of enslavement have the skills to work, take care of themselves, and we're just skilled in almost everything. We were skilled before we got here. And then you stole us because we were skilled. Common sense. We still gonna be skilled after you leave us the hell alone. But with the white people and white ideology, instead of them figuring it out, they want to go blame somebody. So they're looking at it like, oh, these black people is the reason I can't sell my pigs to 5 people. Now I gotta sell my pigs to 3 people. Like, come on, man. Like, most of that shit, these were, white people seeking out black labor at a cheaper cost. So it had nothing to do with the black people who were being hired by the white people. It had everything to do with the white people hiring the black people. You can't sell your pig because, this damn man, this damn pig shop over here is, I don't even know if it was a shop. Because this damn pig shop over here is paying a former slave half the price. So shit, he can go down on his costs. Because he getting his labor at a low cost. He getting it damn near cheap. Now, white mobs, of course, including police officers, again, you see the pattern, firemen and civilians, use the altercation as a pretext to unleash a violent attack on the black community, leading to 3 days of rampant violence, looting, and destruction. This is also a theme. This is the whole part of allowing the worst parts of your society, the white society, to dictate and lead the other parts of society. Most people go with the flow. If you got a fucking psycho leading everybody on a psychopathic rage, now every fucking body is a psycho. It didn't spread it. Spread to everybody. It was just one psycho. Now it's 50. And them 50 psychos now is 100. Like, root that shit out. Get that fucking psycho up out of here. No, they wouldn't do that though. Nope. They didn't do it because it was happening to the black community. They didn't care about rooting out their psychos because they made them police officers. They already knew they had a propensity for violence, but they didn't care. Now, we know the underlying causes were more complex, involving economic competition, of course, and the struggle for power in the South post-war. Now, remember, Ida B. Wells uncovered this pattern of racial tensions and racial animosity, really often masked as somehow protecting white women purity, when she investigated further into some of those race riots, also those lynchings of black people, she saw that it was all tied to economic competition. These people couldn't compete, and so they would make up shit to kill off their competition. Now, white residents, including many former Confederate soldiers and slaveholders, were antagonistic towards the growing black population. Mainly the black Union soldiers, who symbolized a new social order. They hated seeing these black men in uniform, but not just uniform. These are the black men that beat the hell out of them during the war. Remember, these are the Confederates. They lost. The Union didn't stand a chance until when? Until Lincoln made the former slaves soldiers, to the point where there were several several army leaders. These were like generals, or I don't know what the hell you have. They are captains over whatever. I don't know. Captains, lieutenants. I don't know the hierarchy, but some of the Union leaders ahead of, whatever, 126th Regiment, whatever the hell it is. After Lincoln allowed the slaves to become soldiers, there was several white Union leaders, that led the armies or whatever. When they saw the black soldiers fight, they started writing about them. Of course, there was, a correspondence between. That's how they kind of used to get information passed. But remember, so that's pretty much how they talk to each other. But also a lot of them was, writing in diaries and shit like that. But when they described, a lot of them was like, oh, hell yeah. Like, oh, these black soldiers are some of the best, strongest fighters we've ever encountered. They're strong. The amount of fight that they put up is like 10 times the fight that the white soldiers put up. Now this is also another pattern that we see, because remember, if you know, because most people don't know about this, but during the American Revolution, when the colonists was fighting the British, they did the same thing. Now the British started telling black people, hey, if you come fight for the British, you won't be no slaves. Matter of fact, you'll be full citizens and you'll have this, they kind of sprucing it up and shit. Or I guess they would be considered the patriots, because they had loyalists and patriots. So the patriots, which was the Americans, that's George Washington now. They saw like, oh shit, we gotta start letting these fucking slaves fight, because they killing us. And then when they actually allowed the slaves to fight, they say it again. These are some of the best fighters, the strongest fighters. They have some of the best strategic minds about war, movement, the terrain, the seasons. Like, these black soldiers are smart as hell. We need them. They are also a part of the turn of the Revolutionary War. The founding of this country. What happened? Black soldiers came in, saved the day. I guess. Because they didn't save the day for us. Boy, if they'd known. But, well, no. Because in a sense, they kind of knew. But a lot of them, when they were fighting for the Patriots, they were promising them freedom too. So they sort of was like, George Washington was sort of like, okay, we match. Shit, if King George and them and the Redcoats gonna give you freedom if you fight for them, well shit, we'll give you freedom if you fight for us. while we fighting to keep y'all as his slave. These people, they